Hey, good evening, everyone. This is Brain Boost. Welcome. My name is Johanna Martinez. I'm here with George Englert, and we're talking tonight about social connections that boost your brain. This is week 5 of our series. So, I'm curious, George, how is this? How's this going for you? This brain boosting so far?
Well, um, believe it or not, I really noticed a difference with like how often I've been misplacing my keys, my sunglasses or my phone, and I it seems like I've really been more apt to put them in appropriate places, but you know, but it's working out, So is this really a result of the work that we're doing? Well, I guess time will tell, right?
Hmm.
So anyway, this is week 5, everyone, of Brain Boost, our 10-week live series on boosting cognitive ability. And in this series, you will learn 10 keys to boosting mental abilities and ridiculous easy ways that you can implement them in your life, no matter how busy or tired you are or where you are starting from. And as we know, feeling overwhelmed is one of the biggest blockers for doing anything. So we really made an effort, Johanna and I, to keep this as clear and actionable as possible. So if reducing overwhelm and boosting your brain power sounds good, stick around.
Awesome. Thanks so much for the intro and letting everyone know what we're doing here. So, for anyone joining us, I want to invite you before we go into tonight's topic to take a moment to think about why you want to boost your brain, right? So, getting really clear on what's in it for you if you invest the next few minutes to hang with us and learn a concrete tip on how you can boost your brain. So, what's in it for you personally, right? So, I want to start off and share mine, and then I'm going to invite George for you to share. Um, so, mine is, being a transformational coach. What I've noticed is that, all the work that we do on the brain. So we reprogram thought patterns, right? So all of that work, it gets amplified when you have a healthy, solid foundation, right? So when your brain is healthy to start with, right? So the work I do with my clients, I also do a lot of it with my own coaches on myself, right? And it's part of the profession, right? So I really noticed a huge difference on, my basic health, obviously, it amplifies any of the work I do. So for me, that is just, seeing that massive difference. That's something that really you know, helps me put an effort into doing this habit change work that we're talking about here. So I'm curious, what's lighting the fire under your butt this week?
Well, I gotta say, I've mentioned it before. Doing this series is definitely an under the butt lighter fire lighter. So, but also, I started working on plans for a laundry room. And it's definitely beneficial to be as sharp as I can during a project like this.
Yeah, a little project management. Cool, very cool,
Yeah.
awesome. And I just want to let you guys in on a little inside joke. We're playing with the word gaming here because we had a little bit of a scare here. I'm living in Colorado, and we had a bit of a scare that our area where we live is getting evacuated. So now that just mentioning the word fire, just wow. Okay. So anyway, moving on to the topic, social connection, right? So it's a huge thing for our mental health, our emotional health, and our brain health, right? So there's been countless studies that demonstrate the positive effects on our brain health when we have rich, healthy social connections, and vice versa, right? So positive effects from social bonding impacts our cognition as well as our behavior and physical health, right? And when we lack that, so when we lack the healthy social bonding, um, we perceive social isolation, loneliness, or ostracism, right? And it's a good thing to recognize that not everyone experiences it as strong, right? Some people crave more social connection, right? But anyway, when a person has this experience of isolation or ostracism, whether it's real or perceived, it causes feelings of rejection and neglect, and that really impairs our cognitive abilities. And I'm sure all of us, we can relate to this at least at some point in our lives, having experienced this, where you're either left outside of the group or bullied, or you just get rejected over and over again, right? It has a huge impact on our well-being. And I think this year, even the most social bonded, happy, outgoing people who got with a shit ton of friends, we've all been isolated this year. So like, wow, everyone, it's been a rough year just to, yeah, wow. So, so I want to say that when we talk about, this series is all about boosting your brain, but it's not just about being your sharpest, like a super brain, like just like wow. This is actually something that is just super important for our basic health, right? To maintain operational. So if we look at studies that have been done on people in isolation, so it takes just 15 days for a person to be in solitary confinement, for that to cause permanent psychological damage. So the effects can range from anxiety to paranoia, and it hinders a person's ability to have coherent thoughts. So basically, you go, like, I don't like to use the word crazy, but a person will go crazy. Or can go crazy in social isolation. 15 days, if you think about what we all went through this spring, like, yeah, and the effects get worse when a person is already suffering from mental health issues, right? So if we think about like just the overall population in the US, how many people, how large numbers of people struggle with depression and anxiety, for example, right? And then you have this kind of a thing like the pandemic, right? So with that said, what can we do? From where we are now, it's fall 2020. What can we do to not feel isolated? What would be like a coaching tip or something that you would encourage people to do? Or, if you had a client suffering from this, what are some things you would encourage them to do?
Well, I do. I'd really like to say first that I love your, that example of 15 days in solitary confinement, and that is permanent damage to people. Like that's, I mean, I think everybody gets that permanent damage is extreme and it's not good, but we also get that solitary confinement for people, that would be an extreme situation. But to me, when that processes for me, that 15 days in the course of a lifetime is not that long, but yet 15 days in solitary confinement can do permanent damage. Many of us that are just like not really the out there all the time social butterflies that might be a little bit more of a healthier personality in a certain way, to be restricted, not for 15 days, but for a lifetime. Yeah. You can see where, a shift to improve upon our social, it could certainly be very beneficial. I think for many people, social interaction really isn't something that really needs to be monitored. But as you said, with social distancing and the business lockdowns playing such a tremendous role in the world today, even the most extroverted personalities are experiencing some of the symptoms that you measured. And just to note, symptoms can be extremely subtle, to the point that we're not even aware of them. And so our cognitive abilities, however, may still be affected. So let me start with this. Facebook and texting and other forms of social media, it's absolutely social. It's not the remedy. You know, these are great tools for lots of bits of information, but we still need interpersonal social connection.
Yeah.
You know, a phone call is much more personal. It's a much more personal way to communicate than texting. You know, and what else can we do? Like FaceTime. You know, like even this Zoom call, we physically see each other. We might not be in the same room, but we see each other. We see the expressions on each other's face. There's Skype. There's Zoom, which what we're doing, and check this out. During times like this, and my first thought is, yeah, that's freaking corny or silly, but you know what? I've done a couple of these with friends of ours, and you know what? Maybe we could do this some more, but you could have a Zoom game night once a week with friends from around the world, not just, from anywhere in the world. And, like this meetup with you, Johanna, is something that I've come to look forward to.
Likewise.
There's no doubt my brain benefits from it,
Likewise, yeah.
So maybe it's charades, Pictionary, or bingo. And if games don't appeal to you, have a happy hour, or just meet up to check in. Give each other 3 to 5 minutes just to say what's up. You would be surprised how rewarding it is to give each other this valuable time.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for that invitation and reminder. And I we have such abundant options with, technology of how we can get together and meet up, so that social circle of we might be hanging out with mostly just our immediate family, now as we're still isolating in many parts of the world, so that circle doesn't get so small to really, put an effort. So I guess the invitation would be to take action and reach out to one friend, or set up one, one.
And viewers, yeah. if you have anything that you've been doing and it's been working, give it to us in the comments. We want to hear about it.
Yeah, share
we
your
can
party,
share it. Maybe
party
we'll
invite. Yeah.
Help us.
I love the, I've heard of so many cool different parties. Of so many events are now just moved to virtual, right? And there's been so many theme parties, and the thing is that there's so many options available, but like you said, for people who are introverted, it may not be so easy to reach out themselves, or to really take the action, because it's so natural and easy to just isolate, right? Because normally that is the restorative action to calm down from the social hustle and bustle, right? So the invitation is here that since those signs can manifest so subtly, if you haven't been experiencing wild symptoms like some people, right? Then those might be subtle, and the invitation is reach out before the symptoms get severe, right? So if you're still if you're still in a place where it's isolated and you're not interacting with people, then reach out to one person, reach out to set up one Zoom game night, happy hour, whatever is your tickles your pickle in spending your free time. Then set that up with a friend or an acquaintance, or even a neighbor. If it doesn't matter. It's just like that social connection that is so good for us. All right, so anything else, or shall we wrap this up?
Yeah, I think that covers a nice piece. And
awesome.
But yeah, so all right, please. I'm so sorry.
No worries, this is great. We got a lot of surprise elements tonight. This is awesome.
You don't want to miss our next Brain Boost, when we are going to fill you in on what happens between the sheets can boost your brain. 1 week from tonight, Sunday at 7.
Oh, fabulous.
Be there.
Oh, fabulous, on my feed. Okay, see you, everyone. Thanks so much. That's so awesome. I want to see that. Cheers. Take care, everyone. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, nice.